Hi guys, my name is Tony Spence, and I'll make 5 of these videos, and then you can put in the comments who you want me to do an Imagine on next, because I'm doing Imagine, 5 different videos of Imagines from the guys from One Direction. So first, this one's going to be Niall. I'll do Louis next, or you can comment who you want to do next, or if I don't get any comments by in a couple of in the week, then I'll just make a new video on one of the other guys from One Direction. And okay, here we go. First Imagine is Niall. Okay. Okay, imagine you and Niall have been best friends for, say, since you were 12 or 10, and tomorrow was your you were there for him all through X Factor, and tomorrow was your 18th birthday, and you hadn't seen Niall for a whole week because he was planning your birthday party. And anyway, you decided to get an early night because you wanted to get up for 5 AM so that you could have 4 hours to get ready, because you needed to get to Niall's by 9. And anyway, next day, even though you got the early night, you still only woke up at 6, as you usually do, and that only gave you 3 hours to get ready. So you ran downstairs and got your bowl of cereal, as usual in the morning, and sat down on the sofa to watch some telly before you had to get ready. You just got settled when there was a knock at the door, and you put your bowl of cereal down and stormed to the door, expecting it to be one of your neighbours coming to complain yet again. But when you opened the door, you got a huge shock, because instead of it being an angry neighbour, it was Niall. And you hadn't realised you'd walked backwards until Niall held out his arms in need of a hug, and you ran to him, hugged him, and he asked you why you were crying, and you just answered with it, "I'm not crying, I'm just so happy to see you, it's tears of joy." And anyway, he picked you up and walked into the living room with you, and you both sat down on the sofa, and he waited really impatiently while you ate your cereal. And then he was like, "You know what, I haven't eaten all day." And you stare at him in disbelief, because he doesn't normally go like an hour without eating. And you ask him if he wants a bowl of cereal, and he nods enthusiastically. So you lead him into the kitchen and sort him a bowl of cereal, and then you jump on the side and sit there waiting while he eats. Then he says, "Jump on," showing you his back, so that in need for a piggyback, and he gives you a piggyback and leads you up to your room, and he puts you down in front of your bedroom and says, "Hurry up and get ready," because you only have like an hour and a half to get ready. So you run into your room and pick out your red strappy top and white jeans. It's Niall's favourite outfit, and it's also your favourite outfit, and you shove them on and you tell Niall that he can come in. He comes in and sits on your bed, making himself comfortable, whereas you search for your curling tongs, because you know Niall loves when your hair is curly. And as you wait for your curling tongs to heat up, you sit on the bed and you and Niall tell each other about what you've been doing during the time that you haven't seen each other. And once you've curled your naturally straight hair and put on your makeup, you say to Niall, I think we should go. Get there early, you know. And Niall, knowing that you'd want to leave early, left his car at home. So you take a slowish walk down to where he lives. And once you get to the corner, or once you get to the front door of his house, he covers your eyes and knocks on the door. You know by the voice that Zane is the one that answers the door. And he leads you into the living room where Louis, Liam and Harry are waiting. And after a couple of minutes, you think you're dreaming, because the living room is made up to look exactly how you dreamt it would last night. And you smile, and when you suddenly realise that a really strong pair of arms is hugging you. It takes you about 2 seconds to realise that it's Louis who's hugging you, and you get passed around the room getting hugs from everyone. And after 10 minutes, you're all sitting in a circle and you have 4 boxes surrounding you. You wonder why there's only 4 and not 5. And then Louis whispers in your ear that the biggest box is from him and Zane. So, and then Zane says, I was the one who made your card. So you open your card first, expecting it to be shop brought, but when you open it, it's homemade and very glittery, and you thought to yourself, it has to be Zane. And you open the present from Niall first, and Niall knows how much you love music, so he bought you like 10 CDs, one of One Direction, or like several of One Direction, and then the others of your other favourite artists. And he also brought you a video, the film Smiley, and some videos from Shane Dawson, because he knows how much you love him. And you go over to him and hug him and whisper thank you in his ear. And you go back and open the presents from Liam and Harry. Harry brought you hair accessories and stuff like that because he knows how much you love to look good. And Liam brought you makeup. And you think to yourself, Harry and Liam must have decided that one of them is to buy hair accessories and the other one's to buy makeup. And you thought, I knew Harry would buy me hair accessories because he's always fussing about his hair as well. So anyway, you open the present from Louis and Zane next, and it's the biggest box there. And once you open it, you tip it upside down and you see a load of One Direction stuff, because Louis and Zane know how much you love One Direction. And in the box you've got like 2 posters, some pens and loads of everything One Direction. And you almost start crying again because it's so nice. And you thank all of them for the lovely presents, and then Louis says, time to go in the pool. And you didn't know about this. Niall had reminded you that you needed your swimming costume, but you had completely forgot it and wanting to go to your party. And anyway, you have a load of clothes here anyway, and you have a load of clothes here anyway because you sometimes sleep here when you're too tired to go home. So you ran upstairs, changed into your swimming costume that you have here, and run outside and dive into the pool. And 10 minutes later you realise that Zane is still sunbathing, and you say to him, "Why don't you come in the pool?" And he just shakes his head. And then you remember that he can't swim very well. So you get out the pool and lay next to Zane and say, "I'll teach you to swim if you want." And he says, "No, because the boys will just make fun of me." Anyway, another 10 minutes after that, the boys all go inside to get the cake ready and that. Once they're inside, you say to Zane, "Come on then, I'll teach you to swim now." And he sighs, knowing that he can't win. And he agrees, and gingerly gets into the pool while you dive. And you teach him how to swim. And like 20 minutes later, Louis comes out, expecting to see you and Zane still in the deck chairs next to the pool. And he just freezes to where he freezes to the spot and shouts, "Hey boys, look, Zane's swimming!" And you and Zane laugh, get out the pool, and you go change into some spare clothes because your other ones were still soaked because the other boys started splashing you before you could go get changed. And you went inside, sat on the sofa in the dark, and then you see a glow of orange, and all the boys are singing happy birthday, apart from Louis, who is singing his version of the happy birthday, which is "Happy Birthday to You, You Live in a Zoo," from Madagascar. And you laugh, and then you make a wish and then blow out the candles. I won't tell you what the wish is, but you'll find out. And Niall hands you a knife and says, "You get to make another wish because once you cut the first time you cut the cake, you get a wish." And you wish for the same thing, knowing that it probably won't be true. And you cut the biggest slice for Niall, the second biggest slice for you, and the rest of the boys, unfortunately, are all equal. Or, oh, it's a good thing that they're all equal. And you all eat your cake, and then once you're all full, Niall sits on the table, or sits in front of you on the floor, and you wonder what's going on. And he says, "Tori, I've loved you. I've had a crush on you since we were like 15, and I've always wanted to ask you out, but I never had the courage. And I just thought today would be the best day. So you still wonder what's going on." And then Niall takes one of your hands in both of his and says, "Tori, will you please go out with me?" And after a couple of seconds of shock, you you scream inside your head, and are just like, "Yes, yes, 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 yes," to him. And he smiles, hugs you, and kisses you passionately on the lips. And at the end of the day, he walks you home and decides to stay the night because he's too tired to walk back home. So you get into your pyjamas and get in your bed, and because he has a spare pair of pyjamas here, at yours. He gets into his dramas, and you both crawl under the covers because it's freezing cold, and you know that you're gonna live a very happy life with him for many years to come, probably. And you lay there smiling to yourself when and you fall asleep and dream about the day that's just happened. Okay, that was the Imagine for Niall. I hope you liked it. I put a lot of effort into thinking of this, and I thought I was gonna like write it up and show it on YouTube, but I couldn't be bothered to write it, so here it is. And I will see you soon, guys. Don't forget, watch this video and put your comments down below on which One Direction boy you want me to do next. And if there is no comments, then I'll probably do Louis or Zayn or Smith. So bye guys, and peace.